Okay. Best regards, tutora Patricia Sánchez. I'm Dana Lorena Saldarriaga Hurtado. This video corresponds to group 96, where the debate will take place, where we will identify and discuss problematic educational situation. We will start with the interactive presentation and the analysis report of the theory. As a team, we will evaluate each situation based on its importance, relevance, for current trends in language acquisition. We start with my companion Angie.
Okay. Introduction. Second language teaching, specific English teaching, is one of the fields in which the need for more effective ways of instruction is most evident in the millions of students who are faced with learning English on a daily basis in our country obtain very device final results, which ends up causing, in addition to a heavy burden of personal frustration, a reasonable doubt about the effectiveness of education programs in this subject. Key theories of foreign language acquisition observes the behaviors theory in the fields Fumber Friday class from the Beijing teacher Diana showed confidence in her best by inviting students to have an active participation as this focus on observable behaviors and now the environment and the consequence of this influence human behavior motivate as a student to have more fluency in our pedagogical practice, evidence sociocultural theology in the everyday. Like superstition classroom where the teacher instructor participation to be collaborative interaction with each other, promoting proactive engagement with the environment around them. Current trends in language acquisition. It is not secret that artificial intelligence is advancing by leaps and bounds. Therefore, a trend is the use of viral argument. Really, for example, real-life situations are similar to as conversations in a coffee, shopping in a clothing store, business meetings, allowing this be sorry, allowing is this to be enriching for learning. Cognitive factors in language acquisition. Can observe them through some games that were played online games and activities that can be playful where language is used as the main tool, but the objective is not a linguistic but a means in addition. The acquisition occurs without effort since this process was unnoticed. Contextual and cultural factors. Cultural is fundamental in language learning and can be enriching and exciting. Culture influence each other in every language and be intermixed in the culture or a language student can gain a deeper and more authentic understanding of the language they are learning. And finally, integration of theology with practice. Observing good results from the different theology that were applied in class social cognition indefinite as the integration of mental process that allow interaction between subjects, including phonemas, such as social perception, theology of mind, and empathy, of affective response to the mental states of other subjects. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We continue with my companion Daniela.
Okay. Jury analysis report. Introduction. In the phase two presentation, three classes were shown and we had to export them to identify who to make a class as a teacher, the knowledge and the motivation that we should transmit. Key theories of foreign language question. I could identify that most of the teacher mainly choose theories such as interactionism, innatism, and cognitivism, as these theories are based on making the student participate and focus all the attention on the class. In the current trends in language acquisition, I could see that in summary, a teacher chose similar trends projects, the class bilingualism, multilingualism, and social interaction, which leads them to the students are in the which leads them to the game implementing activities that capture the attention and also speaking most the class in English to ensure learning. In the cognitive factor in language acquisition, teachers chose to get with information processing and memory as the archive factor for a good class because in terms of the topic of the class, they focus on what the student might need an activity so that they call memorize what was important. In the social influences in the classes, motivation and interaction of a student and influences such nervous and teacher is evidence and of course emotional influences such nervousness and anxiety when participating. In the contextual and culture factor. The contextual factor, although they should be, are not very present, and the culture factor are the most important, which is learning of the language. And the integration of the theories with the practice, I could see how the teacher had good methodology and the preparation of the class, as well as good knowledge about it. Um, conclusion. Participation and application of the knowledge provided is essential to evaluate and memorize it to route its validity. Motivation and interaction with the teacher and student are very important, keeping them attentive and active. It is very important to take into account cognitive, social, and emotional factors in the same way. It's very important to take into account a current trend for good teaching learning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We continue with Rita.
Best regards. Dear partner, my name is Rita. We're going to start with empathy dialogues with Flip. This project introduces innovate English learning activities to take allow participation in communication and theory in classes. The goal is to create a supportive environment where students feel comfortable practicing English, boosting their confidence and language skills. Activity 1 is empathy based dialogues using Flip. The objective and the description we had to help students build confidence in speaking through role play dialogues focused on empathy, promoting active listening and expression in a safe format. And description we got the students pair up, choose real life scenarios, and record dialogues on Flip. They focus on clear pronunciation and expression and changing feedback with their partners. The teacher also reviews and provides feedback. The step for the implementation of the work is introduce empathy-based dialogues, provide scenarios and sample dialogues. Guide the students to record responses flip with multiple items allowed. Facilitate partner feedback and instructor review. Integrations of trends. This activity use asynchronous learning and emphasize social emotional skills like empathy, fostering autonomy as students self-evaluate and record. Expected learning. Students will enhance their fluency, pronunciation and confidence, practicing in a low-stress environment that gradually prepares them for more public participation. In conclusion, this project addresses low participation in communication anxiety in English learning through empathy-based dialogues on Flip and structured debates on Zoom. This activity creates a supportive, low-pressure environment allowing students to build confidence in speaking while improving fluency, listening, and critical thinking skills. By integrating digital tools and social emotional learning, the project fosters both language competence and a greater willingness to participate actively in class. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Rita. We continue with my presentation. YouTube. Okay, my presentation. Introduction. And in this work, a theoretical analysis will be produced involving participant observation in three different classes. As a student, we will observe how teachers guide their students in acquiring a learning and a second language, examining factors such as classroom, materials, teaching strategies, and student learning methods. Key theories is of foreign languages acquisitions. In the first class, theories like in Teams were applied through interactive videos and activities to support learning internationally, showed in the teachers' ongoing support and encouragement for students to practice. Cognitivist was also used with the teachers monitoring and motivating students' participation. In the second class, theories such as teams, interactionism, and cognitivism were applied to enhance learning. The teacher provided support and calling activities and used creations input hypotheses by introducing Silly's advanced language to both students' growth while maintaining motivation. And in the last class, the teachers use in a teams, interactionist, and cognitiveness. One moment, please.
Okay, classmate, don't worry.
Sorry. I continue with the current trends and in languages acquisition. In the first class, language acquisition trends like cognitive and social factors, multimodal approach, bilingualism, and ecological perspectives were applied. Social interaction and technology such as videos played a key role. With the mostly bilingual teachers creating a strong learning environment. In the second class, cognitive and social factors, the multimodal approach and bilingualism were also evident, with some social integration and technology use. Videos in the third class, trends such as the multimodal approach, multilinks, and cognitive and social factors were used. The bilingual teachers, along with interactive videos and technology, help students connect new words and expand their vocabulary. Cognitive factors in language acquisitions. In the first class, long-term memory for vocabulary and grammar was emphasized, along with joint attention and language processing to understand sentences. Metalinguismic awareness and categorization also support learning. And in the second class, long-term memory for new vocabulary was reinforced. In the last class, both short and long-term memory were used as needed. The classes focused on language processing and metalinguistic awareness. Social and emotional influence. Uh, in the three classes, I observed some nervous was noted during explaining activity, but the teachers provided support, creating a safe and motivation environment to help students feel comfortable and enjoy the experience. And through those activities was apparent in class dynamic. In the contextual and cultural factors, in the third class, I observed a little influence, but employees searches essential for language were possibly controlled. Integration of theory with practice. In the three class, the teacher showed strong theoretical knowledge applied ineffectively, which helped most students understand clearly. The class was participatory, enjoy, and full of learning. Um, Problematics and educational situation. In the three class, I observed poor internet, connection problems during games and activities affected participation. Teachers should make materials and links more accessible to ensure fair learning opportunities for all students. And the conclusions in the first class for internet connection caused interruption and made difficult for the follow materials. It recommended to research strategies, particularly with interactive games, to make learning more engaging and effective. In the second class, connection issues during activities impaired students' participation. The teacher should ensure that materials and links are more accessible. And in the last class, students struggled with pronunciation during games, and the teacher didn't address these difficulties. Thank you. Okay, we as a group analyzed all the problems and chose one of our colleagues, Rita. So we will continue with the questions. Um, What innovative English learning activities do you propose to address the identified educational challenge? We um, answer the questions by order. First Angie, second Daniela, third Rita, and the last me.
Yes, okay, I agree with the presentation with classmate Rita. I continue me with my answers. Okay, respect your question. One of the reasons why a student do not participate in class is Chinese. So it is important to know how to implement the use of strategies such as, for example, role play or oral presentation, where topics of interest are presented in English, and thus the students have the obligation to participate, and this encourages participation in class. Before starting the class, I will implement reading exercises, since when we weekly deeply the body sends a message to the brain to calm down and relax. Thank you. Uh, Daniela, please.
Okay. The innovative activities that propose to solve this problem are certificate activities that attract their attention, technology, and debates.
Finally, classmate, your microphone.
Propose
Yes.
innovate. Thank you. Propose innovate English learning activities to tackle the educational challenge of low participation in communication anxiety. We propose to innovate English learning activities. Empathy-based dialogues with Philip. This activity involves students recording conversational dialogues in English using the Flip platform. Working in pairs or small groups, they create dialogues around relative scenarios of their choice. By recording their conversations, students can practice and refine their oral skills without the pressure of immediate peer judgment, building confidence in a supportive environment. Feedback focuses on constructive points and improvements, fostering a comfortable space for language practice. Thank you.
Okay. I believe that in order to increase student engagement in the classroom, you can implement activities that are innovative for students, such as project-based learning, engaging students in activities that improve their oral and writing skills through topics of their liking, interactive technology, or augmented really applications could also be used for to motivate students to participate through interactive games. We could also use the methodology of interview class, case student, and problem solving. Okay, we continue to the second question. What specific resources, including digital tools and materials, do you propose to utilize to support the implementation of your proposed activities?
Okay. Um, One of the resources I will use is celery.com because it is a platform that transforms academic content into interactive games and recreational activities with a large number of significant games to learn English and other areas of interest. Use of the lingua.com page that has the resources and tools necessary to learning a new language in is a fun and easy way. What about you, Daniela?
Specific resources I will implement are outdoor outing, student feedback, and technology tools such as Canva, Nipod, Trello, Google Classroom, and others. Thank you.
To support the implementation of this activity, I propose the following resources. Flip for recording and sharing empathy-based dialogues, enabling students to practice at their own pace and share when they are ready. Sooner teams for hosting the structured debates, creating a safe space for live interaction and language practice. Kahoot or Mentimeter for interactive quizzes and polls, allowing quick feedback and keeping students engaged. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And in my point of view, the research and tools or digital materials that could be also to carry out this proposal could be Kahoot and quizzes, Quizlet, WordWall, also to create interactive presentation to draw the attention of students. Could be used Canva originally. For flipped classes could be Nearpool. And finally, researchers for augmented reality or virtual reality application are Google extensions. I believe that all these tools and researchers are important and helpful for the implementation of these innovative activities to promote a learning environment, and that is screening. Okay, continue with the third and last question. What methodologies do you propose to use to assess the impact of your proposed activities on languages learning outcomes?
Okay, Dana, it's a great answer. Okay, the three question. I will evaluate the performance of the proposed activity through Google Classroom. I will also evaluate the performance to an audio podcast and finally through a review of our study.
The methodology I propose is to implement a learning portfolios, formative assessment service, pre and post test, question studies, among others. Thank you.
And you, Rita?
Methods for evaluating the impact on learning outcomes is formative self-assessments. Use Mentimeter surveys for students to self-assess after each activity, reflecting on their progress in language skills and their confidence levels. Qualitative analysis of flip recordings. Review flip recordings to analyze progress, influence pronunciation, and a comfort level with speaking. Post-activity reflections. Conduct group reflections and brief interviews to collect qualitative feedback, allowing students to share their experience and perceive improvements in a relative setting.
Okay, thank you, Rita. And I believe that it is always necessary to use both quantitative and qualitative evaluation methodologies, and evaluation could be done before and after applying the subject to see how much a student learned. I also believe that it should be taken into account to analyze the participation of student, language proficiency, tests, and exams.
Okay, in conclusion, the problem of a lot of student participation in English classes affects the effectiveness of language learning. Although teachers apply dynamic and technological strategies, students' motivation and self-confidence remain key barriers. To improve participation, innovative activities are proposed, such as project-based learning, simulations and gamification, which make learning more relevant and engaging. Furthermore, the use of digital tools facilitates the implementation of these activities. Impact evaluation will include both qualitative and quantitative methods, such as pre-post test, surveys, and reflective journals to measure improvements in skill and motivation. These strategies seek not only to increase participation So, but also to create a more inclusive and effective learning environment where students feel motivated and confident to actively use English. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Rita. With this, we finish. Thank
We're
you.
finished. We're done. Goodbye.